Okay, let me get it. And we are live on Facebook and YouTube for your people and stuff. I'm giving it a chance to circulate. Y'all know it's a few seconds delay. Okay. Okay. Hey, y'all tune in. Tune in. We have a family right here. Father and Annie, right? Of the victim, guys. The father and Annie of the victim. So y'all tune in because they done. I reached out to them because I was seeing a incident, a situation, and I couldn't do nothing but try to reach out. There you go. Okay, it's enough people on. So this was what's her name?
Equation to Shay Kennedy.
And that's the
Okay, that's her daughter. She was in the stomach. Equation was 33 weeks pregnant, and her daughter survived the incident.
and what day did you say this happened on?
This was last year, 1624.
Can you go over kind of some of the details of the incident that happened?
I'm gonna say of the incident. Okay, I'm gonna say on 1624 at 2:20 a.m. Demetrius Cosby, Katerius Cosby, and Equasia Kennedy was in a small Chevy Malibu. And it don't matter what you have, we just have trouble. And they was on the Dallas Highway out there by and the vehicle started losing power. Demetrius tried to exit the highway coming from the left, going to the right. But he had his emergency lights on as he was trying to exit the highway because he's known as a first responder. He works in the mesquite. Um, Other people see the flashes on the vehicle. They go around the vehicle. You know, they avoid any collision or anything. Uh, this person that we know at that time was, you know, an individual. We know he comes off the ramp and he doesn't apply any brakes. He's in the right lane. They stopped in the lane right next to the right lane. He could have stayed in that lane if that's the fact. But instead he drifted into their lane and hit them dead center from behind and killed my daughter.
What is the red bag?
These are the clothes that Equasia had on the night she was killed. It's all I got of her, and her ashes is over there on the table in a jar. That's it. That's all
And
we
she
got.
was, and you say she was, that's her baby because she was pregnant at the time, right?
Well, the baby survived. So when I say of her, I meant like contents.
Right, right, right.
But as far as the baby, you know, she is a victim too. So she was, like I said, she was 33 weeks pregnant. Uh, and they're out there on the highway while she's sitting in the car before she even transitioned. They're searching the vehicle. There is people screaming on when we're watching the body cameras. We're seeing people scream. They're saying, "Why ain't y'all helping her?" The reason why, because there is an MT who stops. He had long dreads, black male. He had got the passenger out the front seat, and he had immediately applied first responder help. He's doing CPR because the passenger in the front is unresponsive. He brings them back. He revives them. He brings them back. Now, on the body cameras, while he's doing that, you see other police officers out here. They're on duty. And these on duty officers, instead of helping him, because he's saying, I need y'all to help me. I need y'all to help me. I got him. Y'all need to get her out. I need y'all to help me. They're telling him, no, you need to stop before you get arrested. So they start searching the vehicle. My daughter's in here in the vehicle still. They're moving her body around. You would think they were going to get her out and do the same thing he did to try to revive her, you know. Now, they're searching the vehicle. They're pulling out guns and clothes and things. Everything that was in the trunk of the vehicle. The guns was all in the trunk of the vehicle. Everything that was in the trunk of the vehicle got knocked into the inside of the vehicle. So they getting all of these things out, searching the vehicle, trying to find anything to make them look like they're guilty. The victims look guilty.
Right.
So we constantly watching this on the body camera. Once they're through searching, one officer comes up on his, you can see through his body camera, the other officers was out there. He comes up and you can hear one of the officers say, she was stuck, she was lodged in between the chairs. That was not the fact. He pulls out with one hand very easily. But by this time he getting her out, she's already dead. But he's doing CPR. He's doing CPR. Now, had those other officers on duty responded in enough time and got her out same way the MT got the other person, other victim out, they could have revived her the same way the MT revived Katerius Cosby. So this police officer. Now, normally you're gonna notice somebody gonna check a pulse and know somebody's dead and say, hey, instead of me doing CPR wasting any more time, because there's obviously a baby in her, we're gonna move out your way. The fire and rescue is here. We're gonna move out your way and let you go on, you guys come on in and put oxygen on the body to help the baby. But they waited. And the reason why I want to express this is because the placenta eruption. So you putting oxygen on the body ain't really happening. You putting oxygen on the dead body, but the placenta don't eruption, she's still not going to get anything because they waited for that too. They never rendered aid to nobody in the vehicle.
Mm.
Never. He texted my phone 2 days later claiming that he rendered aid. You rendered aid on the dead body. So to me, you did not render aid. You know what I'm saying? Your officers that was on duty are out here, and at the same time, the person who hit the vehicle, when Demetrius Cosby, he gets out the vehicle as soon as he got hit, he gets out the vehicle. He's looking in the vehicle to see who hit him. You know, if it's an accident, you're gonna stay on the scene, you're gonna exchange insurance information, you're gonna stay there to be seen. Hey, it's an accident, man. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you're an officer or whoever you is, you're gonna act as if it's an accident. So Demetrius Cosby is looking around the vehicle at the same time. He
Mm.
don't see nobody. So if you get your answer from that, if he left the scene, you gotta really give it the true thought. The body cameras is showing this man come back to the scene. He's on radio his people instead of making a 911 call. He radioed his city police to come to the sheriff department's jurisdiction. This was a situation that happened on the highway. He radioed them first, and he told them everything that happened. And they obviously told him, you need to go back to the scene so you can be seen on the body cameras. We don't know why he left, you know. So we have to speculate because nobody's called us to tell us anything from the beginning of what happened. So before they get there, obviously, the police wasn't there at first. We are asking for answers about what happened before they got there. What did this officer do? And we have yet to get that. So that right there is a major part of this investigation. So we can only speculate. So allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, the officer was told to go back to the scene so he could be seen on the body cameras. Once you watching the body cameras, once he's back on the scene, first of all, he should have been removed from the scene because he was just involved in a major
Right.
fatality.
That's true too.
But instead, he's out there walking around with his hands in his pocket and he's covered up his identity. He
Mm-hmm.
got his jacket zipped up to where you can't see his uniform, meaning he's not going to the victims, neither one of them helping. He's allowed to walk around. He's not looking at Demetrius Carter saying, hey, man, I'm sorry, I was the driver, identifying himself. That means you, even when you there, to me, that still means you still not there.
So let me ask you this. So did anyone at that moment knew he was a police yet? So how did you find out he was off duty officer then?
None of the police officers told us anything. The newspaper came out the next day, and that newspaper stated DUI off-duty officer. And I do have that. We do have that, and that's
Oh.
and that got diluted somehow. Uh, and like I said, it's still online. So from that point, that officer is out there standing over my daughter's body, and he's just looking down like he's not injured. You can tell he's just sitting out there. Then all of a sudden, the other officers see him and they say, "Y'all need to move." And he say, I'm one of y'all's." Now,
Oh.
remind you when the body cameras cut on before the officers get there, they keep saying, "He's one of ours. He's one of ours. We don't care. We're taking this one. He's one of ours." So evidently they don't care if it's the sheriff's department jurisdiction. We're taking this because this is one hour. So when he walks up and he's standing over my daughter's body, they asked him to move because they really didn't know who he was. And then he said, then another officer said, he's one of us. And then he said, oh, the one that's doing the chest compressions on the dead body, my daughter's dead body. He said, oh, that officer has chest pains. So if you didn't even know who he was and you just got here, when did you have a conversation with him for him to tell you you had chest pains, first of all?
Right.
Then the officer, he stays there and he's constantly going in and out of his own vehicle that he was driving. He hit them so hard from behind, his vehicle is flipped over on the side. He's being allowed to go in and out of his vehicle, no gloves or nothing. They're out there searching vehicles with no gloves on. The only person who had on gloves was the officer that did CPR. Then you can hear him say, anybody got some gum? So all of a sudden, he walks through the police car with one of the on-duty officers. He didn't have the gum in his pocket, which is odd. He didn't have it in the inside his car. He went to the trunk of his car, went straight to the bubble gum, and he gave it to him. You can hear him say, "This is my last piece."
Let me say something. Where are the other people that's in the car with your daughter at
Okay,
this time?
they're holding Demetrius Cosby as suspect, so they don't give him.
So see, so that's where the problem come in. So they holding him as a suspect, but letting the officer, the off-duty officer is the one hit the vehicle.
Mhm.
And can I say something?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the suspect also comes into play when you look at the 911 calls and you see Demetrius called 911 four times, actually. And on there, they have him listed as a suspect.
They ran a hot check on him and a hot check on my daughter. She's dead. They're running a hot check on her. Kateris Cosby was the passenger. Once he was revived by the MT, the officers make him leave and walk him to his car and made him leave. Never got his name, never got his number. We don't know who he was. But he kept saying on the body camera, I seen it all. I seen everything. Why y'all trying to arrest me? Why y'all threatening me? They made him leave. They took the passenger, Kateris Cosby, and put him on the side of the wall, on the side rail, where cars at first was
Right,
going
right,
through,
right.
and left him. He was unattended over by himself on the stretcher.
So did y'all ever question why they let the off-duty officer that had the rig walk around and
So the interesting thing about this is that we didn't see the body cams until 10 months later,
10
until
months.
10
October.
months later?
They have
Man,
withheld
you should have
evidence.
called me. We could have got to.
You're right, but we've been in
God.
Tennessee
Oh,
over 30 years.
oh,
So
okay.
We January the 6th, we came here and never left. We had to this house, we had to find somewhere to live like quickly.
So y'all down here because of this incident.
Yes.
Y'all not even really from here like
Well,
that.
we were born in
I mean, but y'all was staying in Tennessee at the
over 30
I was in Connecticut. So Yeah, so we both uprooted our lives. His children
Oh,
are
okay.
15 now. We uprooted to new schools because we have to be here for the baby. The baby was in
Oh,
NICU. She was in NICU for 6 months.
6 months.
She got out June 19th.
And she's still disabled.
And she's had pneumonia 4 times, so she's been out. So a lot of complications.
man. So, oh, okay.
So they put Demetrius in the police truck and kept him on the scene till around about 5 a.m. Never, I ended up taking Demetrius, that's my son. I ended up taking him to uh one of the clinics. They told us that he has a fractured hip, fractured ribs, and he had a bad concussion. Now, even if he denied that night, wanting to go, they should have took him anyway. He was just in a major incident that involved somebody dying, where his vehicle got hit from behind.
You keep talking, I'm finna show the baby how to see over there. That's the daughter, guys.
Now, when you see the body cameras, you notice that the officers are doing like this. So all of a sudden, allegedly to us, that means they coding to him. So all of a sudden, when he looking at them, he started doing it too and go, oh, asking if he's hurt. So but when the body cameras is not looking at him, another body camera catches him texting on his phone. I have all these photos, screenshots, by minute, second by second, tenth of a second. I got them all screenshotted on my phone. My attorney, she didn't know I was doing it. When during discovery, we was doing on the Zoom, and I sure did. I got these photos because I felt like,
That's what you're supposed to do.
yeah, and they've been withholding evidence from my attorney. She's the third attorney that I have. Because what people need to understand is this happened over a year ago. I had my first attorney. They wasn't able to get the evidence. My second attorney, they wasn't able to get the evidence. There was already a civil suit filed where people trying to get us to settle. But I'm not settling for anything for the simple fact, if you settle what they're telling us, then you can't go after nobody criminal. Me, I want criminal charges filed.
Okay.
I want criminal charges filed because, man, just something just kept telling me, man, you know what I'm saying? 10 months later, I was right. Something just kept telling me it's the reason why they called me at 4 a.m. pretending my daughter was still alive, knowing the doctor pronounced my daughter dead at 2:52.
Let me ask you this. Because I see somebody in the comments, so I'm gonna ask this. Allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
was the off-duty officer have some kind of alcohol in his vehicle?
Allegedly, I'm going to say this. When you look at the body cameras, huh?
The attorney has to address that.
Yeah,
Okay.
the attorney has
Okay.
addressed it. Okay, we'll leave that to
Yeah,
the
because
attorney
okay.
because
Good one.
it's
Good catch,
it's
sis.
very interesting. If if you are a first responder, police officer, and you coming down the highway, and you in your right mind, you ain't intoxicated, you ain't worked too many hours, and you see a vehicle drifting, needing help, whether the flash is on or not, the flash was on. Body camera showed the flash was on. Once again, the flash was on. And he's doing everything he need to do. But if you are a first responder, you don't even have to be a police officer. What you're gonna do is you're not gonna speed up to try to go around that vehicle to end up hitting it in the first place. You're gonna slow down. You're gonna get behind that vehicle, and you're gonna follow that vehicle till it come to a stop, and you're gonna have your flashes on to make sure nobody else hit that vehicle. Right? That's what a first responder gonna do. Then you're gonna find a way to call for other people to come help to make sure you safe and everybody's safe, and none of this has happened. But this individual has said that first he claimed the flashes wasn't on. So back in February, that was one excuse for other people
For
to
them to
say,
run with it.
yeah, they say, hey, we not gonna investigate this. They didn't have the flashes on. So then 10 months later, we proved that the flashes was on because we finally get the body camera. The flashes was on the whole time, just sitting there flashing.
So the
So
flashes was on the whole
the
time.
whole time. So Not only did we see that, we see them searching the vehicle. She's sitting in there. You can see on the bike camera, you can see she had tears. So she's in there crying.
Right.
She's in the vehicle. Her hand is up in the front seat. She's buckled in, but they don't when it unbuckled her. She's buckled in and her feet was up because she was holding the
And
baby with one arm, like she was trying to save the baby, and she was holding Demetrius Cosby, her brother, arm with this hand. And you can see that on the body camera.
and she was sitting in the back seat.
She's in the back seat.
Okay.
Now, as she's holding like this, they start searching the vehicle. Next thing you know, her hand is in the back seat.
They done moved.
They don't move her around because they searching, tampering with evidence. Once again, this is the Dallas Police Department. The ones that was out there on the scene, the ones that was out there on the scene, they on duty with no gloves on, searching the vehicle instead of taking her out, doing CPR on her at a quick amount of time to try to revive her. See, we would never know if she had a chance to live because of that, and that's my whole point. That's why I'm saying there could not possibly been a complete investigation on this because they would have seen what we seen.
Let me ask you this. Your lawyer. Because it's some questions that I want to ask and address. When can we get the lawyer to do an interview? To that way. I mean, you don't have to do it now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying for the people me and the people, it was all about the community. Cause that's in my head what I was saying about the DUI, alleged DUI that a news article came out with.
Yes.
And why I want to speak on that because I don't understand why they're not still throwing DUI out there if a news outlet already said it was. You said you seen the DUI on the news outlet, right?
Yes.
And you said it vanished out of nowhere.
Vanished.
See what I'm saying?
Along with evidence, along with a lot of evidence, just vanished.
But that news, I'm a news person. That news outlet had to get some type of info from somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The very
Can we
next
say
day.
the name of
And
it?
remember, do you can you do you know which news
Yeah,
outlet
that's
it
what I
was?
was about to say. So, I was about to ask if we can say it. So they're an online media um, team organization, and it's called The Other Side of Dallas. They had posted this. I can't recall if it
On the
was
7th.
it was on January the 7th that they had posted this. So we actually reached out to them, and they have not responded to us. We wanted to know where they got their source from.
Right. Somebody had to say something.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But
You definitely right.
yeah, so that's what so for the questions that get into the drilling, because I don't want to drill y'all. This and that we were trying to do. Y'all just trying to get answers on why they ain't checked. That's what I was finna say. Why they didn't check the cameras? What's going on with the cameras? They supposed to be able to check these cameras. So what's the problem with the cameras?
They're telling us that they don't do still shots. They saying they don't record. They're telling my attorney that they do not record. They're telling us everything that can just really help us continue to ignore it along with them and just think that we don't have no hope in getting the beginning of what really happened on that highway.
But they said they could do the still shots.
They saying they can do still shots, but we still haven't. Everything has been
Because
withheld.
still shots, you can still tell if somebody was 10 feet away, 5 feet away, 30 feet away. Huh?
You can request
Yeah, so that, and then you can, and you know how you do cards, you can flip it and it'll move just like it was a regular.
That's it.
You see what I'm saying? So,
The evidence, the cameras, the witnesses. What's going on? With the witnesses.
What our attorney needs to talk about.
see, that's why we need this attorney to get on the horn with.
The witnesses are, we don't want people to know who they are.
No, we don't want nobody to know. You're right.
But the attorney needs to address our witnesses.
What did the police do that night with the witnesses?
Oh, so the witnesses were trying to provide statements. And this is a fact that we have. So we only have one report. And the report that we have is a crash report. And the crash report doesn't have any witnesses' names on it. It just pretty much is a vague, this car A did hit car B. And so it's acknowledging that the officer did hit them,
Right.
but it's not acknowledging what the witnesses have said. And the other thing that the crash report has said is that the officer was critical. Well, the body cam videos and the still shots that we took from the body cam videos reveal that the officer was not critical.
He
He
walking
was
around.
walking around chewing bubble gum.
And stayed on the scene a long time. They would immediately.
And then the crash report also reveals one other thing, and probably some other stuff that we haven't identified. But the other thing that it identified is that the officer was taken to Baylor Hospital by the Dallas police, while my niece and Cortavius was taken by ambulance.
Boy, that's cold.
And you know why? He did not want to be hooked up to anything that can get his blood alcohol.
So we can only allege that, he was avoiding any type of blood work or any type of sobriety tests.
Boy, that's cold.
So you have that. No cameras that was working before the scenery, dash cams. That's the last thing they want to give us. That they're withholding so much. Some of the files on the body cameras, you click on them, they don't even work. Missing, so much is missing.
And we need radio dispatch, his radio, I guess we call it the walkie
Right,
talkie
right,
or whatever. We need to have a transcript of that as well as his personal phone records.
right,
His emails. We requested all of this a year, long, like Bernie Mac said, long time
right.
ago, long time ago. No, but for real, we requested this a long time ago, and they have not responded the right way. The first time they sent 241 files, was it 911 calls?
It was paper.
From somebody else's wreck that happened on the first. That's HIPAA. They sent 241 uh things to my attorney of somebody else's wreck. My daughter incident happened on the 6th. And to me, that was just another way of stalling us. And then we finally get it. I believe that was 3 months after that. We finally got the body cameras that was pertaining to hers. But also, I want to let you know, the night this happened. Now, imagine you got Demetrius Cosby. He's in the police vehicle as suspect. You have the officer out here walking around on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
You got my daughter. She's getting prepped to get in the hospital in the ambulance.
Right,
Okay. Now, like she said, they have 3 ambulances out here.
right.
They take Equasia in one, Katerius Cosby in the other one. I got a still shot from the body camera that's going to show fire rescue speaking to the officer, and he is heard saying they trying to get him to get in that 3rd ambulance, and instead he's texting, and you can hear the fire rescue guy say, "Well, if they get this, you fucked."
Uh,
Clear as day.
wait, say that one more time.
You can hear the fire rescue guy tell him, "Boy, if they get this, you fucked."
I need that. Also, someone in the comments said he wanted some gum to cover up alcohol smell on his breath. Allegedly.
Allegedly. So when you get when you get this information, and then from there to the hospital, how there's so much information missing, so much evidence missing. You get to the hospital, you got this one officer who's on duty, who's in everybody's body camera. He's all over the place. On the body camera, it showed my daughter being brought in. The interrogation room, or whatever it's called, for the officer who hit the vehicle. He's over here to the left. He's coming out there talking to him. He's talking to some of the family members of my daughter. He's talking to my son's wife. Uh, he's telling her, he's prepping her to talk. This is for the sheriff to be doing. But he's on there talking about, in a little while, the sheriff is going to be coming here and they're going to be woo, 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 woo. He's prepping her. So then you also see him on another body camera going in when they rolling my daughter body in.
Let me
And
ask you.
the time says 2:48.
Let me ask you that. Why they won't let you get the body cam footage? I need to see the body cam footage. I'm pretty good at
We being told
analyzing
that
body cams
we
too.
being told that if we get it, then it's no can't be used in court.
Well, so
They don't want it to hit. They don't want it to hit online media.
so what our attorney has in possession will be used, so that we cannot have, because that can't be shared because it can't be tampered with. However, what we did and what's been so frustrating is over the last few months, we've been walking up to the Dallas police station, the sheriff's station, asking for information, writing complaints, wanting to speak with investigators, wanting to speak with the DA. We've also done open records with the sheriff's department, and I told that will take months. The open records, once we get that, if we ever get it, because I paid almost $400 for to just to get that, and it was 100. I can't remember, but there's hundreds of videos from that night.
Mm-hmm.
There's body cams, there's dash cameras, there's all types of reports that we don't have access to today, that they said that they have, but they have to do the production, which I understand. I understand production, but we have not gotten those.
Listen. So let me run it back on the body cam,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe I gotta talk to the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Why they all these body cams they use them in court? Why they say y'all can't use the body cam in court? I never heard of that before.
No, they
They're
didn't.
saying if we get them in our hand before the attorney does.
We can't. So when you
So why not let the attorney get it then?
She ended up getting it, but in the beginning, they was charging me $1,000 for the body cameras. So I was trying to raise the money and everything. I was about to get ready to sell them, and then my attorney was like, "No, do not do that. I'm gonna get them." And she said she had already filed a subpoena for them, but she ended up getting 241 things of somebody else's wreck that happened on the first. So she said, "You know what? I'm just gonna go up there and get it myself." So she went up there herself and got it
she has the
within,
body cams.
and she got it, but she ain't got them all. So it's like she said, she said they withheld a lot of evidence. It's a lot of evidence they're not giving her, and that's why I started off and I said, his attorney, you better believe she got it, because
Oh,
she got to know what to defend. So if she got it, it's really wrong for them not to give it to my attorney.
yeah, they up under the police umbrella, so they got a whole union behind they
And
stuff.
I
So
want to tell you that night, once she got to the hospital, my granddaughter is still in the womb. My daughter is laying there dead. They pronounced her dead at 2:52. I get a call at 4 a.m. the same morning. I'm in Tennessee. Now I was supposed to got a visit from the local police department in Tennessee, come telling me, "Hey man, your daughter has been in a major crash. They pronounced her dead at 2:52. It involved a police officer." That's not what happened. I got a call at 4 a.m. in the morning, and this woman evidently come find out it was a social worker, but she was pretending to be like some kind of doctor, somebody. She said, "We just got your daughter in our emergency room at 4 a.m. and she barely has a pulse. And we need to know, does she have a living will?" And I was like, "Yes, she has a living will." So at this time, I'm thinking, man, what's going on with my daughter? Woo woo. Because I don't know she's been in this kind of wreck with anybody. They were like, well, we're gonna do everything we can do to save her since she have a living will. That's like, are you sure she has a living will? I said, yes, I'm sure. They said, okay. By the time we got the phone, it's 4:08. I've heard they take 10 minutes to resuscitate anybody. That's their little rule. So they called me back at 4:18. I got the shots from my phone calls showing that they called. 4:18, they called me back. They said, well, your daughter just died. Knowing she had already died at 2:52. They asked me this question. Do you think it's important enough for us to save the baby since the mother didn't make it? I was like, yes, save my granddaughter, man, save the baby, yes. They come back at 10:27 claiming that they just incubated her. Now, when I get down here and get up to date to today, I know that's why they called me at 4 a.m. Because they knew they left my granddaughter in the womb too long. They knew that they left her in the womb. She has brain damage. You know what I'm saying? It's
this
like,
happened in Dallas, Texas, guys. This happened in Dallas, Texas, and I just that I that body cam would. what you said that they. So what said he was critical? What said
So
that the office off duty officer?
the crash report is a public report by the Texas DOT. And that, so that we were able to get that immediately, but it, like I said, it doesn't give you that much information. However, if you look at the codes on the crash report, it tells you the condition of everybody that was involved. So it gives a condition on our niece, which it says that she was, it was fatal, that she passed
Right.
away. And they would say his son was, they didn't even say his son was critical, and they said Cortavius, who was in the passenger, was critical, but they also say that the officer is critical.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a report that is
And
available to the public.
Text Doctor is the one that had the cameras.
Exactly.
I'm gonna send you some
Because
things.
I gotta look it up on car wrecks and stuff, so I do know that part that much.
Yes.
I'm gonna send you some things if you can post them. If you're able to post them,
Mm.
uh, it's gonna show the officer out there walking around on the scene.
And I get that, but when I need to see that body cam, then I can be like, man, you see
Mm-hmm.
the
Cause when
body cam. I tell it like a lot of situations dealing with these officers. Sometimes you have to really wait on the body cam to come out before you can pass the last judgment on whatever's going on.
mm-hmm. Now I understand what you're saying, like uh, especially when you're the one reporting what somebody else is saying.
Right.
You got to be able to protect yourself too in what's being said.
And also that body cam will let you know what's really how it really went.
Mm-hmm. Cause
Now they do redact them.
now that right there, I'm gonna let my attorney answer that.
They
Cause I'm
do
gonna tell
redact
you.
them too now. So for the public, but that's when uh what they call uh dang what's some people called. That's when they come in and get it all like they the ones
The
that get it come
professional forensic.
they come out now they come out to the police officers and stuff.
Oh,
I,
Texas Rangers.
uh-uh. Now they
Internal investigation.
yeah, internal investigate. What they say?
Nothing. They're silent.
I'm
They
also
said that they
sending
don't
you.
investigate traffic citations.
Yeah, they called my daughter's death a citation, and they decided not to go after this man criminally back in February of last year. So,
But if that
But if the crash report says he's critical and that the flashes were not on,
and he
which
had
we know they're not critical.
a alleged wine bottle that we need to talk to the lawyer. That's what that's what
and
alleged guys.
and also how they pulled Demetrius Cosby to the side. The sheriff, when he finally gets there, my my son, he's already talking. It's like this, but you don't hear nothing.
Right.
He told me when he watched that body cam, he was on the Zoom too. He said, "Pops, I had already been talking to that man for over an hour." He said, "So why they just got me my volume cutting on at the end of it, I don't know." But the sheriff had asked him again. He said, "Tell me about what happened at the very beginning before the wheels stopped." So he said, as I was trying to get over, I seen other vehicles, coming, and he said, "Oh shit, this about to hit me." He wasn't talking about the officer. He was talking about somebody else. And he said that officer went around. He said that person went around him and never returned to the scene. But so you can hear when he said that right there, you can hear the sheriff say, "All right, pause," and walked away from him so cold. See, they ran with that as if he was talking about the officer, but he wasn't talking about the officer. It was other people who went around the vehicle that he was talking about. So when the wheel stopped, that's what the officer should have got. He should have got the information about on the camera about what happened when the wheel stopped. He made 911 calls. Other people went around. He had the flashes on, and then they see this car coming to them. He telling everybody. My daughter and all of them are looking back. They see this one car that's coming up from behind them, and it's not getting over. He might see us. He might see us. Oh, and they said the last thing they said was "oh," and my daughter said "Bubba" and grabbed his arm just like that. So it's like, what could they have done to save themselves? It was nothing they could done because other cars is going around. So was it preventable? Yes, because I walked over there to the scene.
You
And
keep
when I
talking.
went over there to the scene, I seen how flat the surface is. Now the surface is so flat when you coming off that ramp, if you coming straight down the highway, you're gonna see them flash, especially at night, you're gonna see some lights flashing.
Right.
So there's no way it wasn't preventable, especially if you ain't even in the lane at first.
Right.
You know, if you in if you these are say this is a vehicle and
Right.
the light is up here flashing, and you in this lane coming off the ramp, you could have stayed in this lane, but you drifted over and hit the back of the vehicle. And it's a flat surface. It's very preventable. It's like when it all boils down to it, to them, how they
Right.
put it, they say, well, who was hurt the worst that night? Was the officer hurt worse than them people? Yeah, he clearly was not hurt as worse. He clearly was out there walking around. He clearly was involved with helping himself. He
And
called them for his own help.
from anytime my prior news coverage, they all anytime there's an officer involved, they tend to the officer for regardless. That's what they go do. So that's probably why he called his people. So
And he didn't
gonna
call 911, he radioed.
see
Yeah, he
he's
knew if he
still
was.
in his suit. So
Yeah, and you can see on the body camera they taking his everything off of him. They taking his holsters and his guns and everything off of him. Look like he had a body camera. That's allegedly, but it look like he had a body camera too. They taking all this stuff off of him. He just left his second shift job, which was at a bar,
that's see
and that was confirmed by the DA investigator.
see that's kind of how Amber Geiger situation was. She was off, but she still had her suit on. So
He did too though.
that's what I'm
He
saying.
had it zipped
Same.
up, so he hid his identity. But also, I'm gonna say now, man, I keep forgetting this part. Uh, so you can see him at the back of the vehicle. They're taking everything off of him. Now, had he been injured or whatever, they wouldn't have gave him bubble gum. What would they gave him if he was having chest pains?
An aspirin.
An aspirin. But he out
Somebody
here
so,
chewing bubble gum.
somebody in the comments said they need a gum to hide that the alcohol. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? And then you say and you say uh they already tried to settle or something.
Now they made two offers pertaining to silver suit because what they're trying to do is to get me to hurry up and be a fool and settle for some money over her life as if that's what I'm making this about. And you know, if you do that, you can't go after nothing criminal. That means it's over with. So when I turned it down, they got mad. And that's when they sent some papers stating that it was Demetrius' fault, my son, blaming him. All of a sudden, changed it from it was the flashers, changed it from well, he turned in front of me. They changed it to he stopped in front of me. Which one is it? You don't change your statement three times. You know, sometimes it's almost like you got somebody who has a prior history of what years was it 2019.
Oh, so it's 2019. So he has two prior preventable accidents where he's caused bodily harm. He was on duty during that time period. So he has a history of reckless driving and negligent.
Of hitting call, basically.
And injuring people. Yep.
Well, go on. This is what we're gonna do. Go on and close us out, and then the next interview need to be with the lawyer
Okay.
and body cam footage.
Did you want to show some of these photos in the closeout? Because I'm sending them to you on your messenger.
I had to
Okay.
post it. I ain't gonna be able to do it right now.
Okay. So anybody who want to see the photos that I'm talking about,
I'll
I'm
put
gonna
them in
send
the
them to you,
comments or something.
and they'll be in the comments. Closing out, you know, I really today the message is really about. I understand. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm gonna say it. You know, I'm a black male father. I've had custody of my kids for over 10 years. Equasia was my best friend. We argued, you know, like mother, you know, do with their daughters and fathers do with their daughters and sons. But she always found a way to come back to me and come home and we have a good time. And she was a very good person, man. Like she always wanted to help everybody. All of her friends loved her. It was like she didn't have a enemy. And if she did, they always end up becoming her friend. And all her friends that wasn't getting along with each other, they got to where they was friends. So what I'm saying is she was a very good person, man. She was working while she was pregnant. She was working 16, 17 hours, man, because she was trying to build a life for the baby when the baby get here. And she kept hugging her all the time. So she got to be a mama to her baby while she was on the inside. But Equasia, man, she really wanted to be alive, and she didn't want to get killed. She didn't want this to happen to her. So if she was here today to speak for herself, she would really be angry and want justice. And that's the voice I'm trying to be for my daughter. I feel like I'm failing so far because it's been a whole year. I mean, I get it. I'm a black male, and it's not easy to make a father look like that's somebody you need to help. Look at who all he got. He's a police officer. He's a government official. You know, I need people on my side. You know what I'm saying? I need the situation to get to where it's so important that something has to be done regardless, because it doesn't make sense for something like this to happen and nothing been done.
Right.
I mean, they have never contacted us, never apologized, no, in no kind of way. And if it was an accident, why come he's never showed any remorse? Why come he turns it into his insurance company the very next day if it's not his fault? Why come he's making offers? You don't offer nobody no money if it's not your fault. I'm saying, like, the very beginning of this situation can be easily solved by just giving us the main evidence. Turning over the main evidence to my attorney, Kim T. Cole. She's waiting. It's not going to be easy to do anything when all you give us is something that happened in mid swing of this accident. You know darn well if you'd have did a 911, he did a 911 call, but it was 20 minutes after he radioed.
Right.
20 minutes after. So had you first chose to call
So
911,
there's proof of that?
yo, yeah, it's in the records. He did a hot check on my daughter. She laying there dead. It's all in the records of when we got the body
Damn,
cam
that's
information.
crazy.
Now, had he first, instead of chose to leave and radio his friends and just stayed on the scene and called 911, that can you can then claim it's an accident. But here it is, your GPS system, we want that too, because your GPS system should have said, hey, lane down, yellow line, red line, there's a car down on the shoulder. Or did that do? Or did you know? So it's so much is just looking so callous. So had you used 911, they would have been able to hear your voice. They would have been able to tell if you was slurring, if you was they operate on that. 911 can tell anybody if somebody is intoxicated. They can tell from your concerns of if you telling the truth and everything. It would also alert the sheriff department before anybody else. It would alert the ambulance, the fire department, along with your people, the Dallas Police Department. You knew not to do that. You radioed a secret code to your city police to come to the sheriff department jurisdiction because you radioed them for your own help. You took the life of somebody who wanted to be here, who deserved to be here. She didn't do nothing to you. It was not a criminal uh investigation. You wasn't chasing them. They didn't do anything wrong. They needed help. They was an emergency vehicle. You an emergency vehicle, man. And they were sitting there needing help. Just like they needed help that night, we need help now. Just like you should have showed remorse that night and proved that it was an accident, why come y'all ain't helping us now? Two police officers text my phone 2 days later. Well, one police officer text my phone 2 days later, January 8th of 2024, talking about I had a friend for life in the police department. They're going to help us. They were almost crying to know that the baby survived and he did CPR on my daughter. None of that has been true because we filed for victim what is it called, victim crime help on
Yeah.
Equasia and the baby, and they turned it down saying they don't do that for a citation. I mean, we've been here for a whole year and a half, struggling, struggling. She's a disabled baby. She's not even able to get all her equipment. It's so much that's on hold. They put my money on
Y'all
hold.
got a GoFundMe?
We got a
I'm gonna
GoFundMe.
put it in the
It's
comment.
gonna be in the comments.
See, I didn't know that. Okay.
Uh, The baby bills is piling up. The police ain't helping with that. But you text my phone saying I had a friend for life. I mean, the baby equipment, she can't even get all her equipment. That's why she's ended up back in the hospital 4 different times with pneumonia because that suction machine right over here on this couch, in that chair, that suction machine right there, what it does, it don't pull enough power. It's not like the stationaries in the hospital.
Right,
So
right,
when you turn this on, it don't pull everything out. What it's supposed to do is pull everything out of her chest like it does in the hospital. So it gets stuck in her chest, and once it gets stuck in her chest, she ends up with pneumonia. Her insurance is so cheap that it can't afford the correct insurance
right,
equipment because they keep saying she can't afford it.
right,
This is a disabled baby. How
right.
is it that a disabled person can't afford something?
Mm.
Especially when the officer calls her injury, they should be going by his insurance. It's crazy, man. It's like
But I
let's do
get it. I
something for
get it.
him.
Listen, but I'm gonna tell you this, dog. Keep your head up, man. Don't say you failing, cause you ain't failing, cause you got to me, you still pushing out the year. So a person that failed would already quit. So you not failing, boss. You just getting stronger and building your knowledge on what's on how it's going. So don't. I know it's hard. I know y'all just came. Y'all from Tennessee, fresh down here. Listen, guys, the accident they ain't been back to Tennessee and what you say Connecticut. So they trying their best. They haven't left her since this.
And we're still grieving our mother who left Tennessee too in January, and she ended up dying here in February.
So she died here. God,
This
dog.
situation took her out, man. She was like, I'm going to see my granddaughter. She said, I'm going to be with my granddaughter. She had cancer and she was in remission. She was doing good. But when this happened, it just took her out, man. The we actually had the funeral on the day she was supposed to have been born. If this wouldn't happen, February 24th, she'd have been born. That's the day we had the funeral. And
God, dog. So what I'm gonna do is this. What I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get in touch with Kim T. Cole. I know Kim. So for them body cam. And also, I need to get the GoFundMe because soon we leave this live. I need the GoFundMe to try to see if y'all get some kind of help support on for for your daughter's baby and uh and see if we can and then we go start to call Kim and see what's going on. Hopefully y'all can get justice, Bob.
I appreciate all of it, man. Uh, yeah, we need it, man. I'm ready to grieve, man. I'm you know, man, I ain't even used to none of this. It's like I had to get used to being a father. For 10 years, man, I did my best.
Do y'all have a cash app?
My cash app got shut down some kind of way. The last time I posted it on uh alive just a week ago, somebody reported it suspiciously, man, and then it got shut down. So I do have a Vimo, and I'm gonna send you that, and they can also Zelle me uh anything personal. They can Zelle me through my phone number on Zelle. But, like I said, man, I try my best to be a good dad, man. You know what I mean? And I didn't have my dad in my life, right? Like a lot of us, and I don't know who all haven't had their dad, but I didn't have mine, man. And I devoted to being a father because of wishing mine was with me. And everything that I learned, you know what I'm saying? I had to reteach myself and learn how to be a father. And I was doing good, man. She didn't die of natural cause. She got killed.
Do you have a PayPal?
Uh, the Venmo, I believe that is through PayPal, right? No, Venmo is not. No, then I do not have a PayPal.
Well, I'm just getting what people ask. So right now we're
Okay.
just gonna run with the GoFundMe guy. So, but
Yeah.
okay. Well, keep your head up, Bob.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people on this live that's baggy, so I I'll get that in there, just give it to me, and we'll take it there. I'm finna take it, check her out for one last time, and we gone. I like the boxing gloves, man.
That's her. It has her name on it. She got this when she was in the NICU because she's a fighter.
Okay, I
She is a
like that.
miracle baby.
Miracle baby, guys. What's her name?
Skyland Janae Kaora Kennedy. Her mom named her before, and it means Janae Kaora means a gift from God.